Alright, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star video. And today I kind of wanted to be looking at Tingyun, Fugue, whatever you want to call her. I'm going to call her Tingyun in this video. And why she potentially might be really big for future characters to come. So today's kind of going to be going over what we kind of do know. It's going to be all speculation, stuff that is floating around, so it could be completely different. What she does might be completely different from what's said in this video. So until the official kit is released, we won't actually know exactly what she does. There could be changes, there could be complete changes. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But this video is going to be basing it off what we do know and what the info going around is. And yep, that's all I wanted to say before I get into the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell for more videos like this. There's a lot of you that aren't subbed, the whole 87.5% of you guys that watch my videos. So what you doing? You're gonna lose 50-50 if you don't hit that sub button right now. So make sure to do that. Let's get straight into it. So before anything, what we do kind of know is Tingyun does seem like this more break kind of support. So a character that can give a break effect, can lower defense of enemies, all that kind of good stuff, and has some really broken potential mechanics to her. But the thing I want to talk about first is why I kind of do not think that she might replace anyone that is in the current break teams. So first, addressing it with the characters that love super break more, so Firefly and Rappa. She might work better with Rappa. That is one character I'm kind of like not sure about from what we know. But for Firefly, I highly doubt that Tingyun is going to be better, because while Tingyun does seem to provide really good things, Firefly team is already complete. You have Firefly herself, you have Ruan-Mei, who is a very much wanted character, you have the Harmony Trailblazer, who is practically needed for Firefly to do good damage, and then you have the sustain slot. You could kind of argue that maybe you don't need a sustain slot, but because Gallagher and especially Linkshot are so good at how much toughness they can deal and how much damage they can deal with super break, you really don't want to take them off the team, because especially Firefly can implant fire weakness, so they can lower it regardless of what happens. And especially Linkshot, who can do some insane damage on that team. While Tingyun might make Firefly do more damage overall, it's probably going to be a case where you end up doing less damage, because the damage you get from Linkshot or Gallagher is going to equate to more damage overall. So getting two bigger hits than one big hit is going to be more damage overall, helping faster clears, more damage sources. So that's why I kind of do not think that she might replace anything on the Firefly team. As for Rappa, her team is practically the exact same as Firefly, so it probably is these same similar cases. Tingyun would be so broken for Rappa, because there is this thing that apparently Tingyun is going to let anyone with the skill active reduce toughness regardless of type by an amount equal to 50% of the original toughness reduction, and can't be stacked. And because it cannot be stacked, that does not mean you can take Rappa, who already has 50% when she's in her ult, and combine that with Tingyun's potential 50% as well, making it 100% and having this broken 100%, and now Rappa becomes literal god of the game. Unfortunately, it does not seem to be working that way, so that's why I do not think Rappa is going to gain much of a benefit here either, especially since with her as well, you really want Harmony Trailblazer, you're gonna definitely want Ruan-Mei. Sustainless teams might work better for her, because there are times where you won't have the fire weakness, so Linkshot or Gallagher might not be too much more beneficial as opposed to running them with Firefly. They still will be beneficial, because once they are weakness broken, you can still get the big damage even if they don't have fire weakness, but in this case, sustainless teams with Rappa might be better with Tingyun, since once again, Tingyun herself provides really good stuff. Again, break effect, the 50% weakness original stuff, lowering targets defense, being able to convert to super break herself, and also seeming to have another way to just have the ultimate that she has to reduce toughness regardless of type as well. While the stuff she does provide is really good, but potentially not for current characters. And then as for Boohill, she could work good with Boohill if you are running the Harmony spot, which usually goes to Harmony Trailblazer, if you want big damage, or Bronya if you want very high output. That's why I kind of don't think that she's going to be better with Boohill either, because Boohill with Harmony Trailblazer becomes a one-shot machine, and then with Bronya it becomes this pure output machine getting constant turns over and over again. And you can't even make the argument of sustainless here, because you really need the sustain to be generating skill points, especially if you are just running anything optimal for him. Harmony Trailblazer, it's easier to manage skill points because you're not spamming it with Bronya, but you still want to use it to the point where it does become negative overall. And then with Bronya, you're gonna 100% need a character to generate SP points, so Tingyun is probably not gonna be able to provide that too well. There probably is a way to benefit by building her with a bunch of speed and able to actually get the skill point generation that you would from sustain, but I still highly doubt that it would be better. But in a case, it might, because the original toughness damage, so if you don't have Boohill's skill when you have the technique active to implant the physical weakness, or just use the ultimate, if you don't have it on someone, you can kind of lower it, and with Ruan-Mei it's going to be even easier. So there might be a chance that with Boohill it could be better, and again with Rappa it could be better, but I still have my doubts about that. But now actually talk about other characters who potentially could benefit from it. So there are other characters that can be used as break that potentially may benefit a lot from this, and one example is Himiko. Himiko's been having a lot of super break play, and since Tingyun can actually add up to having super break, so you potentially don't even need Harmony Trailblazer, you probably still will have a time where you run both, so there's still that. But with other things that Tingyun can provide for Himiko is going to be extremely good, especially now that you don't need to have the fire weakness. It's still going to help a lot, but you're going to be able to universally lower toughness equal to 50%, which is going to make break Himiko teams a lot more strong and a lot more universal. This is probably going to be a case where it's really good for Rei as well, as not a lot of enemies are weak to quantum, so running Rei is kind of difficult in the current meta. And since she is also a break DPS, she can definitely benefit from something like Tingyun and a certain comp with that. So cases like that might be really good for these characters if you do run them. So pretty much characters that don't really have a solidified team or have more flexible teams, because with Firefly, the team is pretty set in stone. Rappa Boohill, the teams are also pretty set in stone. But with these ones, they're kind of on the weaker side and you have more options and more mixes, which is potentially where Tingyun is going to shine a lot more. On top of that, with characters that potentially may be slower to kind of get rid of toughness, it seems like Tingyun is going to have a thing similar to what we already have in the game, being the exo toughness stuff in the current MOC. Maybe not as easy to shred, but if it isn't a way making a universal shred and making it easier to actually deal toughness damage and also lower the bars faster, that's going to be really good for the DPSs that kind of struggle to lower toughness and potentially that can't with the universal toughness lowering that Tingyun will provide, making it easier to actually benefit off that. Since the actual main break characters being Firefly, Rappa, and Boothill, the one that kind of struggles with it is Rappa, so that could also benefit her maybe. Both Boothill and Firefly, they have their weakness implant, so you don't actually have to worry about that too much as opposed to other characters who do not actually have the implant. So the exo toughness plus the buffs plus the super break if you're not running Harmony Trailblazer, and then the universal toughness lowering that she might be able to provide, and by she I mean Tingyun. But the characters like Rei, Himiko, potentially certain Rappa teams, those kind of teams seem to be benefiting from it the most, which is going to potentially open a lot more team ideas and potentially making these characters shine even more. And also in cases for people who do love the DPS link shot, because DPS link shot is surprisingly insanely good. And so with that universal toughness lowering and everything I did mention, that applied to Lingsha if you're running her on a non-fire weakness based battle, that could potentially be insane as well, because again, Lingsha's damage is absolutely crazy. So as a DPS Lingsha might become even more viable. So if you're running a pure DPS Lingsha and so not a sustain on the Firefly team for the weakness implant that Firefly can give, then this is potentially going to be insane for those kind of players as well, because again, DPS Lingsha is insane and this is probably going to make it even more insane. So that's another case where this Tingyun potentially is going to be extremely powerful. And so future characters that potentially might have kits that do not actually focus full on break but can definitely benefit from break kind of playstyles is kind of where I think this Tingyun is going to work really good, because Himiko herself is eyed to be just a DPS, not really break related, but the break stuff had actually upgraded what she can do by a lot, making her extremely powerful in potentially apocalyptic shadow modes with this bunch of enemies such as the Sunday boss. In pure fiction, she absolutely destroys since they do have lower toughness, and now with this it's potentially going to open even more pathways. So if they potentially design a future character that is mainly just designed as a DPS but potentially might have some crazy AoEs but doesn't have like innate toughness lowering regardless of type or weakness implants and that kind of stuff, or maybe they'll even have a weaker implant for weakness but it might be a slower thing such as Boohill only having it from the ultimate. Tingyun having the lowering toughness regardless of weakness type by equal to 50% of the original is going to be extremely cool and opens a lot of pathways for DPS we have right now for potential break playstyles, and then future characters who might function similarly to that, making her a potential really good pickup for future characters and then current characters and certain stuff, because there's a lot of doom posting going around her because she didn't end up replacing Harmony Trailblazer, but I think that's probably for the better. We still want Harmony Trailblazer to be good, but I definitely think Tingyun definitely does have some potential for future characters. Probably niche right now like how Xiaochu is, but definitely going to actually have future potential. And then with current characters who are designed as mainly just doing the DPS that benefit a ton from a break, or certain break characters that might get the short end of the stick like Rei, benefiting those characters a ton is going to open a lot more team ideas and potential pathways in the future and future characters. And hey, who knows, because of the fact that she can provide some break effect, weakness break regardless of type, and also especially defense shred, she might even be good on non-break teams just because of the toughness lower regardless of type. And then again, the defense shred is a crazy thing in this game, so there could be potential crazy teams that are not even break focused that can benefit off her as well, so there's that as a potential as well. And so yeah, that has been the video. That's kind of why I think Tingyun is definitely going to be reserved for future characters potentially, or actually specific things that we could do now. There are a good amount of team ideas that you can probably search up, which once again, this info is just the speculation of what we think she's gonna do. Could be completely different, it's just how it is. The best thing to do is wait for the official information, because that is when obviously kit for Tingyun would be finalized. So once again, this is all speculation going around, so take it with a grain of salt. This could be completely different. And yeah, that's been the video. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out.